But this is Micah Parsons at practice, and he's going through a little contract dispute with the Dallas Cowboys
That's called mind reps right there.
That's mind reps. He looks very sad, but he's still showing up to practice. He's
still there.
Which I guess maybe he has to for
Doesn't
money.
want to
not get fined.
To not get fined.
I haven't looked, but is he faking an injury right now?
Back spasms.
Okay, so faking an injury.
I think he's genuinely sad. This is how I think the Cowboys want these things to play out, is they believe if we just stop these guys from playing football, or they'll stop themselves from playing football based on the advice from their representatives, then they're going to start to miss the game. And these guys want to play football like it's a thing that they love.
Watching everybody else.
Yeah, so eventually what they're hoping, and probably will happen in this case, is Micah Parsons will be the one to be like, fuck it, to accept their deal, I don't give a shit. And let me play football. And that's what I think the Cowboys game is. They're not really looking to sign early. Like some teams, definitely the Eagles, guys who they believe are going to be a pillar, they'll just go and sign them a year earlier. Detroit did that with Amon St. Brown. And now he's a $30 million a year
steal of a deal. Great steal.
So maybe one way historically works out better than the other, but this is the game that the Cowboys play. They want him in this position, and they want him to be like, man, I just want to get on the football field.
So what were our Micah signing dates?
August 25th for Alex.
August 17th, so Ant's out.
I'm steadfast September 4th. I think September 2nd, which is a Tuesday, is probably the more likely day that he's actually going to sign. Like Micah has zero leverage, so they don't have to do anything with him this year. And if he doesn't play, you guys have both said it in the past, it looks worse on Micah Parsons.
It's not good for him professionally either.
Yeah, so essentially they don't have to do anything for him this year, and they could give him a deal next year or the after next year. It creates a terrible relationship with them. He has absolutely zero leverage. He looks defeated because he knows he doesn't have any moves anymore.
No, I will say the Cowboys handled it awfully. They have.
They always do.
Like for Micah Parsons not to be practicing right now, getting ready for the Eagles.
They could have signed him at the end of last season and saved millions and millions of dollars. I think the one stat that I was reading about this is how much money they've lost with like even just Dak and CD's deals. Like they've lost out on like over $65 million.
And this is why I think it's by design by the Jones family. If they are signed a year early, nobody's talking about this at this point of the NFL season.
This is what I'm saying. Like,
that's their biggest thing.
The benefit for the Cowboys is to let it go. Like you mentioned, they hold all the cards with a guy like Micah Parsons. But that's how you got to get the power back in those scenarios, is like just say, fine, I will play this season out.
And then I'm gone.
Contract, and then I'm gone. Even if Parsons says, I'm not playing until I get a new contract, then he would more than likely have to sit at least this season. Then he has next year's option, too, if the Cowboys don't decide to trade him, where they would take the option and then just sit him again. And then they can franchise him. For
the only type of leverage he has is if he does sit out, because then it would force the Cowboys to then heavily consider a trade. They could get a king's ransom. Him sitting out wouldn't hurt dealing with other teams. DM could say, hey, well, you know what it's like working with the Joneses. Micah's a principal guy. He felt disrespected. Yeah. And any of these teams that are going to be hurting for edge rushers that have the cap space and that have the trade value would go ahead and do that move for the Cowboys if he sits out.
I wonder, though, if he did do that, does that open up the door for suddenly a Sam Williams or a D Easy to show up? And there's other guys on the squad. You know, it's week 4 and they got 5.5 sacks. Maybe we got 4 weeks here. Like, if we can get 2 first rounds and 2 second rounds over the next 2 years, I don't want that just trade. I don't think that's good. But if the contract's not going to work out in your favor, maybe that's the best route.
That's why Micah has zero leverage.
Yeah.
Because what if that does happen? This article you have, it has Cowboys Parsons divorce imminent, ? ESPN's Adam Schefter says differences are irreconcilable.
Rumor on the street is Micah Parsons found semen on Jerry Jones's underwear that was not his.
On his McMuffin. on his sausage McMuffin.
It wasn't his.
On his McMuffin. I will say this as a thing. I like listening to Schefty talk, as all the analysts like to call him. I prefer, I'm more of an Ian Rappaport guy, I think.
Yeah, Schefter. As soon as Schefter left NFL Network to go to the ESPN, I was like, the fuck out of here.
Look, he's
Rich Eisen never left.
No, he's definitely got the inside edge. I want to know, like, what's the accuracy of what these guys say? Not to say that this isn't correct. This plays out as if it could be true. I mean, we're at a place right now where tomorrow they could sign Micah, or tomorrow we could also hear that Micah's going to sit for the rest of the season. But I want to know, what's Schefter's batting average?
What does Gronk say?
Is this Gronk? AI Gronk? Schefter's the most accurate?
He's the most
9.8?
Yeah.
Hey, my
Out of
boy,
10?
Yeah, but my boy Ian Rappaport's 9.6.
Now-
That's still really good.
Praised as most trusted in X Post and Reddit. Unmatched accuracy and breaking stories. Read this second paragraph here.
Last year, the onset of home practice was a positive step in the CeeDee Lamb negotiations, with the star wideout inking his deal and returning to the team. But appears that will not be the case with Parsons, whose negotiations have seemed far more contentious. And now ESPN's Adam Schefter is not only reporting things that haven't progressed, but now levying the headed for divorce assessment in the latest episode of his podcast. I do think that these guys have a job because they're more accurate than not in a lot of their assessment for things, specifically guys like Schefter or Ian Rappaport and a couple of the other guys, because you do need that guy that people want to feed stuff to get it out. It is a little bit of like a plant, I guess you could say. Like you're not telling me that teams use this for their own leverage to try to make things happen all the times. And so do agents.
So do agents. Like it could be agents saying, well, yeah, Micah is not feeling good. We're willing to separate from the Cowboys, right?
Yeah.
So you don't know, because the Cowboys they've already said they're not trading him. So this has to be coming from the Micah camp, the divorce talk. Let me get one of these in here.
Go ahead. Go ahead and crack
Yeah,
it.
get some crack'ems in there.
I still have a little bit left.
Yeah, just do it.
Crack 'em if you got 'em.
If you got 'em, son!
I will say this: any player who falls to the dreaded Jerry Jones family negotiation, they always come out on top. They always make more money than what they were going to get before, and they are always still treated with the same type of loyalty that they would have beforehand. In most cases, it works out for the player after Jerry utilizes them for his not earned media because he's paying extra money on their contract. So it feels very drawn out and not as needed anymore.
He ain't getting traded.
I don't think he's getting traded. It's a polarizing move. We know that Jerry likes to be in the news.
If they traded away Micah Parsons, that would be...
If Micah Parsons sits out for 6 weeks and they're doing all right without him, you don't think they'll maybe trade him to get some capital?
So if they're doing all right without Micah Parsons, how would they do with Micah Parsons?
Well, Micah just says, "Nah, I'm not going to play.
Well, then
I'll sit out for 2 years."
I would let him sit out for 2 years.
I do feel for Micah Parsons in quite a bit and all players that have to go through this, because it's like, honestly, man, I fought through college to get here, and I thought it'd be like, I get my contract, now it's just about the game.
Well, the biggest thing for Micah is he's done everything to deserve that second contract.
Absolutely, I think, yeah.
Like if you're looking at a player's stats and what he's done in his first contract, his first 4 years.
Yeah.
He's all pro every single year.
So if you looked at Micah, if you said you get this guy and like take away the name, but you say this is what this guy did the first 4 years, and you looked at his stats, you'd say no matter what, you're re-signing that guy to a big deal.
For Micah Parsons to actually be traded, he needs to become a person who he's not.
If it gets to week 1 and they don't have a deal, do you guys think he'll sit out?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a hard time thinking Micah will sit out.
The Eagles game is a perfect example for him to try to make a point. If I'm Micah Parsons, who has no leverage right now, then the only thing you can do is sit out that first game and then
hope no sacks happen.
Yeah. Oh, this is what you need. The Cowboys to lose. The Cowboys to lose 48-45. The offense looks good, but the defense did nothing. That's what you're hoping for.
It's
like an absolute lose to the Super Bowl champs by 3 points in a barn burner where the defense did fuck all.